Wealth Builders is I again, your private money headhunter, Nick Billions, and bring you another private money drive-by real estate educational video brought to you by the Mills Funding Group LLC, an apartment acquisition and asset management company. And today we're dealing with one of my favorite subjects in real estate, big numbers. So this is an expert case studies that's simply titled "My Oh My, Big Numbers Everywhere." Now, disclaimer: I'm not a lawyer, CPA, securities professional. Information is purely based off of personal experience and opinion, and should be consulted and verified by your attorney or CPA before moving forward with any investment strategies that's in this video. Now, it's purely educational and not intended to present or market any securities opportunities. Now, with our first case study, it is a debt deal that we did, and we purchased 20 units for $380,000. Now, all the units averaged $640 a month. After we got ownership and the leases was up, we raised the rents by $85 a month up to $725. We now assume in this deal that we had borrowed 100% down of the deal plus the reserves for $400,000. From the reserves, what we borrowed, we took $10,000 of that back at the closing table for repairs as a seller's repair allowance, and we multiplied the new equity of rent increase times the total amount of units, which times 20 units, which equals $1,700 a month, and we multiply that monthly amount by 12 months in a year, which is $20,400 a year, and we multiply that amount now by 10%, which is what we call the banker's cap rate, at $204,000, which is now our new equity that we've created by increasing rents by $85 a door. Now, how we get paid: suppose we refinance in 15 months. We refinance with a bank 80% of our new value that we created, which in this case, since we paid 100% down at $380,000, we add the $380 plus the $204,000 we just created in value at $584,000, which is $467,200. You leave 20% of that down of your new value, which is $116,800, which the bank leaves to control their risk in the investment. We pay back the investors from the check that is cut from the 80%, which is $467,200, and we pay back the investors 8% off of their $400,000 invested, which is $32,000, and they get a total of $432,000 back in the deal. Is beautiful for everybody. Everybody wins. Now, in our case study number 2, like I said, we turn it up here at Mills Funding Group, and we don't hold back on the deals that we do. We purchased 181 units for $4 million. Okay, now we got 1-bedroom units that average $580 a month. We raised those rents up to $60 more at $640 a month. 2 bedrooms, $700 a month, raised it up to $775 a month. That was $135 total increase, and we take that across the board on all 181 units. Now, in this case, it's an equity deal, which means we do 20% down, and we do closing costs plus reserves at $250 a door for $1,245,250. From that, at the closing table, we would get $91,000 back for a seller's repair allowance, so we can do some interior improvements to give validity to the rent increases. We take $135 rent increase, multiply that by 181 units, which equals $24,435 a month. We multiply that amount by 12 months, which equals $293,220 a year. We multiply that by 10.8. Now, what we did right here was that we're going to see if what the bankers would do. Sometimes they take it away, sometimes they don't. But in this case, we were able to do the numbers and find out that our cap rate was so close to the banker's cap rate that we were able to add the extra 0.8% to get a little bit more icing on the cake at the end of our deal, and for our new equity, which came out to $3,166,776 based off of a 10.8 cap rate off of the new equity. So from that, our new equity, total equity, is $3,166,776 based off of a $135 increasing rent per door rental increase. Now, how we get paid in this deal, how you get paid in this deal is that we refinance in 24 months. Now, we bank refinances 80% of the new value, which is $3,166,776, which is $2,533,421. Now we leave 20% of that down, which is $633,355. Now we pay back the investors from 80% of that new value we just created during the refinance. And for the investors, we gave them an 11% return on this deal right here, where they bid it in $1,245,250. They get $136,978 back from the deal, and we give that total of $1,382,228 back to the investors. In addition, they get quarterly cash flow, and since we have a little bit left over, they will get additional equity proceeds at the time of a refinance or sale, which is kind of our way of legally bribing them to keep investing with us, to show them that we're completely about credibility and not about greed and profits. Okay, now case study number 3. We turn it up and we keep on going, because that's where we go. We go up. We never stay complacent or go down. We purchased 226 units, a B-class property in a very, very big emerging market for $21 million. Now all units average $1,100 a month, and we raised the rents to $1,500 a month. That's a $400 increase across the board on 226 units. In this case, to get more leverage, we end up borrowing 25% down plus closing and reserves for a total of $6,150,500. From that, at closing, we got $113,000 back for seller's repairs allowance, and we multiplied the $400 rent increase times 226 units, which equals $90,400 times 12 months total, which is $1,084,800 total. Now we multiply that by the banker's cap rate, because I think our cap rate came a little bit under 9% or something like that, so we went up to the banker's cap rate of 10% at $10,848,000. That is our new equity that we've created by increasing the rents by $400 a door. Now we refinanced this property in 36 months, and 36 months may seem like a long time, but for 200 plus units that's got an 8-figure tag on it, that's very quick, almost too good to be true. Okay, now the bank we refinance refinances 80% of the new value, which of the $10,848,000, which it comes down to $8,678,400. They leave 20% on the table to manage risk, and we pay the investors back with the 80%. Now, with the equity partner example, we give them a 6% return because we offer them a monthly cash flow option. So that's how we are able to control spread and make sure that we hedge inflation and we don't overwhelm ourselves with certain promises. So with the equity example, the investors invested $6,150,500. From that, they get 6% back of $369,030 plus that original amount they invested, which equals $6,519,530 that the investors get back. Needless to say, anybody that invests that much money as a group together and they see they get their money back so quickly, they're gonna come back. It's just a natural habit. You're gonna come back because you're not gonna break what isn't. You're not gonna fix what isn't broke. Okay, so that is our case. Those are our case studies right there. Again, like I said, private money drive-by education at its best. Your private money headhunter here, Nick Billions, as your host. We're bringing you this video from the Mills Funding Group LLC, an apartment acquisition and asset management company. For more of what we do and offer, you want to go to our homepage at privatemoney.VanEckCompanies.com. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/privatemoneysavior, and subscribe and comment on our YouTube page at youtube.com/Mills Funding Group. Thanks again for your time. I look forward to teaching you on our next video.